Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I haven't uploaded a long form video in about 2 weeks, and that's because I'm in the middle of like 4 big projects and I have to deal with school. It's been busy lately, okay? To put it lightly, it's been a busy while. This is the current plane that I'm going to be reviewing today, the Eflite Cherokee 1.3 meter. Really quick, stay tuned because I will be flying this plane in this video, because my last review I got critiques from several of my friends and some comments about how I didn't actually fly the plane in the video. I always drive the trucks in my reviews of them. It's just I don't really fly much in my plane reviews. Mostly because I don't have like something to film me flying per se, except for my cameraman, and he's not very good. So you're going to be seeing some, no offense to Tyrone, my cameraman, but his phone doesn't like to focus on planes. I'm hoping to get an Insta camera and strap it to the planes, because this plane I can cut a hole in the canopy and get some super scale videos. And then some of the others like that puppy, I could zip tie it to the landing gear or something, or the tail, and same with everybody else. And on the Otter and the Extra, it'll work great because they're such big planes, they won't even feel it. And I've been flying the Otter a lot lately. It's a really phenomenal plane. There won't be a review of that for a while. I am getting a new glider soon because the Radian is getting sold at the swap meet once I have it fully finished. It's going to be sold as a plug and play. This guy I was going to sell to a friend, but then he ended up backing out on me. It's okay, I do not mind. Also, because I'm making a video soon where I'm going to be gifting him another aircraft, which has been on this channel many a time, was my first non-trainer plane, and I feel like it would be in great hands if it went to him, because, newsflash, I don't have a lot of hangar space. I want to get like 6 more planes this year. I really want to ramp up more plane stuff. My goal is, in December, we need to be flying 90mm jets. I believe it's doable. Or either 90mm jets or going crazy with 3D planes. Those are my 2 options. Yeah, that's my hope. December 2026 will be big. Besides that, really quick, some just things. LCG SCX-10 project, still in the making. Cross RC Bison project, still in the making. Sledge 1-year overview, still in the making. I crashed the Bush Viper. I'm making a video repairing it soon. Besides that, not really much to say. EDFT28 will be on the channel eventually. The FCX-24 will be restored soon. Boat stuff's coming up because here in New Mexico, ever since that big storm, we've gotten no precipitation. It was 60 the other day in March. So yeah, now that I've gotten the yapping out of the way, let's get on to the airplane. So this is the Eflite Cherokee 1.3. Let's go over the specs and then I'll put it through the review system for civilian aircraft. So this is the Eflite Piper Cherokee 1.3 meter. It is a medium aerobatic, mostly scale civilian airplane. It runs 3S to 4S packs. It is extremely scale. The detail on this plane is really immaculate with the scale canopy. It would be a perfect FPV platform. From the scale canopy to the fancy gear suspension setups to all the scale lights and the scale writing on the side. It's a very nice looking aircraft, and I think that should be said. It comes with Spectrum electronics, just basic. I'm going to take it off the truck. It comes with just basic Spectrum stuff that you come to expect from Eflite. Look how huge this canopy is, guys. It comes with an ESC. Crazy, guys. It comes with an ESC. No, it comes with an ESC receiver and everything. The receiver is an AR631, like in that of most 6 to 8 channel E-Flight planes. Some other things. It does not have a separate nose wheel steering servo. A lot of people do not care about that. That is one thing that I prefer it not to have. Because if you do, like for instance, my Viper 64, the other day I installed the gear wrong and stripped out the servo, and now I have to replace it. And it was metal gear too. I might even put a crawler servo in there so that I can guarantee it won't strip out and something like that happens. That plane's review will be coming up soon as well, but it needs a lot of work. Because I'm modding it with fancier hinges and stuff. And it definitely needs work. I keep my adapters in my planes. A lot of people say don't use adapters and just solder a connector on. But I prefer to just use adapters. Nice, high-quality adapters are not that high risk. And if you, if you end up switching from one type of pack to another over time, like for instance right now I'm really using the T-plugs a lot. I have 2 T-plug 2Ss and 4 T-plug 4Ss. They are the main packs that I'm flying on right now. And then a few miscellaneous other packs. But those are the main packs I'm flying on, which is why the point of having the T-plug adapters is. If I decide to start flying on different packs, then I'll get a different adapter. But that's not the plane, that's just me. Some things to note about this plane. The elevator is a full moving surface. So that's my only gripe about this plane, and I'll get onto that in a second. But it is a full moving surface. It is foam hinged, however, I do believe that, well, the elevator's not foam hinged, obviously, and the flaps aren't foam hinged. But the ailerons are foam hinged with a reinforced little tab right there, if you guys can see it. You really shouldn't be dry moving your servos, but whatever. I do it all the time, and it never really affects anything. It has a nose gear suspension, but no rear suspensions. I have not flown it off my dirt runway. However, I'm highly suspicious that it will do great off of it because of the wheel size. Because it has relatively large wheels that should do okay. I'd say it should be okay on dirt. I wouldn't push it, though. Like, don't take off. It's not a bush plane, first of all. The takeoff length is about 30 feet, so... In fact, I'll crack out the civilian scale. What's something I could write on for the civilian scale? A cardboard box. Fuck it. Who cares? So... This pink one should have plenty of juice left in it. Let me see. Where's a box that I could use? Don't want to dox myself, you know, even though nobody will be pulling up anyways, but... Still, just, you don't want to get your info on the internet, you know. So let me find something to write on for the specs. So, shit. There's a Fox suspension box I could use, but I don't want to do that. Speaking of that, guys, I'm going to start making more mountain bike content on the main channel. I was going to make a separate mountain bike channel, but I decided against it. So I'm going to be making more mountain bike content. This is my dad's bike. Really quick, I'm just going to show you all my bikes. That's my Trek Slash. It's getting sold soon. You'll see videos about it. And then this is my cross-country chisel that you saw in the video with the drill. And then this green Yeti SB140 is mine. Yeah. Very clean bike. Love it. Back to the airplane, though, because that is my main hobby. Mountain biking is a sport I do on the side. So, there's a piece of aluminum over here all right on this. Make sure there's no centipedes under it. It's warm enough that there's centipedes out here, so, don't really want to be just lifting random stuff up, because there's a chance there will be a centipede, and I hate those things. They freak me out. But, you know... That's not your guys' problem. I'm not going to yap about them. So, guys, so really quick. First criteria will be STOL. Most people don't care. I do. STOL is something that I really take seriously. And I will give this a 5 out of 10. You can push it, but on 4S, but On 3S, you're going to be doing 30-foot takeoffs. That's kind of expected with a nose wheel civil aviation plane. If you really push it and do a flap dump, you'll probably be able to get it up in much less. But I don't really like risking crashing my planes. Next up will be design. Like most Eflite products, this plane is very well designed, incorporating most factors that it will experience into its design, which I really appreciate. For instance, the battery tray can actually be moved forward or back. It's not like on a slider, but the glue can be cut, and there are multiple positions that it can, in theory, go into. Some other things, there's carbon spars throughout the fuselage, and it has a carbon wing spar, which makes it a very rigid airplane. So design-wise, it's very well designed. I do have a few gripes with it, and I'll get onto those right now. One of those being the wiring mess. Like, they couldn't use a single zip tie to just try to get it slightly better. Especially because this rod right here would be perfect for them to just zip tie the cables to. But whatever, they don't have to do that. That's just a little thing that's not really necessary. Some other things really quick in the design category. So design covers the design of it, and then fit and finish will be the next category. Which, being Eflite, you already know it's going to be good. Design-wise, there are some weird things that I don't love. For instance, the way that the prop mounts up to the motor, it's actually the motor mount's disconnected, and there's a little shaft on the motor that tightens as you tighten the prop nut. My only worry is if your prop ever comes loose, versus just losing a prop or having a rattle, you're most likely to lose the entire front assembly. And the nice thing about if you just have a rattle, the cowling around the prop will still propel it so that you can still land and then tighten your prop. But the cowl, the way it mounts, it'll just immediately pop off with the propeller. So if it's loose and it starts pulling on itself too much, it will come out. So that's one thing you should take into account. Make sure that this thing's tight. Another issue is that it's got a Phillips screw, so when you tighten it, it's easier to strip out. That's okay. You know, that's on most E-Flite planes. Their prop cowls are Phillips screws, like on my Mustang and my Twin Otter. Only difference is that the motor mount's different, so I don't really have to be scared about tightening the cowling down to hell and back. But I do on this plane, which is why that's just a little thing. You can actually see the carbon spar from here. It's actually a pretty decently light airplane, coming in at just a little bit over 2 pounds. Actually, it might be 3 pounds, but it's still light for its class. And it has almost a weight of 1 to 1.25 weight to thrust ratio. I butchered that so hard. Some other things about this plane is it's very easy to mod the servos because they're not glued in, they're just held in by screws, which is a very nice design element that I really like. Some other nice things is how the canopy mounts up. Because it's a plastic canopy, it's also going to damage the plane a little bit less around it. And because this little tab that comes off of it right here, the little, you know how, on your planes, the canopy around it will get kind of dented down? It doesn't happen on this plane. Well, it still does, but the little part covers it up, so you can't really see it much. So, the canopy design's very nice. You can actually open and close it one-handed, which is very nice. The elevator's very well designed. I don't think you'll have issues with it. My only gripe is that you can't really tell how it's supposed to be out of the box. So, my first flight, it, rocketed straight up towards the sky because the elevator trim was fucked. And it, basically tried to stall on me repeatedly. I was able to take it down, though. And then second flight, I jacked it up. Oh, wait, no, I think actually the first flight, it was trying to go down constantly. So the second flight, I made it so that it will try to go up a little bit. But I did it way too hard, and I had to land it. I had to do a very, weird procedure for it. I was able to not grease, but get a decent landing on her. So I'd say that she lands very cleanly. One thing, this plane will bounce, just like every other airplane. Because the suspension's only on the nose wheel, however, it'll bounce. If you land on the tail, it'll bounce. However, it does have soft-ish wheels, like relatively soft wheels. So you don't really have to worry too hard about your, what's it called, about bouncing, but it does still bounce. One thing I hate is that it came with Phillips screws that I could not get out after they were installed, so I had to swap it out to hex. That's what I do with all my planes. The only plane I haven't done that with is the Twin Otter because of how they mount. I shouldn't have to do that. But with this plane, I did. So for that reason, design it's going to get an 8.5. Next up, fit and finish. So for the fit and finish, very well done. Some people prefer if they're, instead of just having exposed foam, the white is painted on. I really do not care. One thing is that it is paint, not decals, so it will scrape off after a while. But like the little things like the golden red stripes are decals, and they're very well done decals, so I don't think they're ever going to come off really, unless you try to peel them. It's very well detailed. It's got like little rivets and panels that go down the whole airframe. It's got a very scale light kit, which you'll see in a moment as I turn it on to show off the light kit. It's extremely scale. It's got lights everywhere. It's got lights on the wing, right there, right here in the nose, on top of the tail, and then there's one belly light, I believe. It's got a lot of lighting, which is nice. It also, I believe, has a landing light, but I could be wrong. But it's a very well lit up plane. You're not really going to have issues with that. So, yeah, it's very well detailed and very well lit up. The front gear spring, my only worry is that if you do some really hard landings, you might get it jammed. Like, it jammed up a tiny bit for me, but then I just... Well, it wasn't just jammed, but it was squeaking for me, so as you can see that little black mark on my finger? That's from grease. I put some grease on there, and now it works as smooth as humanly possible. That's what I would do for this aircraft for mods. Definitely put some grease on the shocks. So, for fit and finish, I'm going to give it a 9.1. Can't ever just do a normal number. Actually, it's just going to be a 9. Because, yeah. The next up will be your flight performance and your skill level. So, flight performance. This plane is a very floaty bird. It almost handles kind of like a mix between a P-51 and a Cessna, if that makes any sense. So, like, if you try to throw it around, it'll fly, you can chuck it around like a P-51. But then you turn safe on, you use a little bit of flaps, and it'll fly just like a Cessna. It's so weird how floaty it can be and how aggressive it can be. It's very fast on 4S. It's actually kind of hard to slow down on 4S. The nice split flap design is really cool because it kind of like has vents on the flaps that slow it down even more. But that's still... Also, look at how far down the flaps go. Like, they're borderline an air brake. But yet you still need to take a lot of room to slow down on 4S. 3S, on the other hand, it's a completely different machine. It's extremely scale. But on 4S, this thing wakes up and becomes a demon, which is what I usually fly it on. Yeah, taxiing, it taxis beautifully. It, like, really, from takeoff to landing, from taxiing to unplugging the battery, everything. It does just smoothly. Taxiing, it's very smooth. However, one thing is that... Oh, wait, you can kind of see the lights lighting up. If you have a really hard landing, one thing... I didn't notice this as much on this plane, but I know it will happen. Because of the way that the servo linkage works for the nose wheel, if you have a hard landing, or you tip over or something on rudder, the push rod might slightly push forward and get your nose wheel out of trim. So you'll have to refix it. But besides that, really, that's not a problem. It does come with Metal Gear servos. I could be wrong, but it has plenty of servo power. They're decently fast. One thing I really like on this plane is it's actually, like, the flaps go down super scale and smooth, which is really nice. I don't know if that's my radio or not, because the DX6E does not do that. Just the NX20, so it might actually just be the radio. In the air, one thing about this plane I really like is the bright blue. There are a weird amount of dark blue airplanes that, like, against the sky, you can't see them. Like, for instance, the old Viper 70, which might be why they made it bright orange for the Gen 2. Dude, you guys want to hear his field story? When I was at the field, this guy wanted $100 for a Viper that looked like it had been hit by a bomb. The gear didn't go up. There was more hot glue than airplane, and that's coming from the guy that owns Red Balls. So you know it was bad, but it flew decent. I still definitely wouldn't pay $100. Like, you've got to be on crack if you're paying that much for something like that. But, like, the thing about Red Balls is it's metallic blue. You can see it in the sky. You can see this blue in the sky. Some blues, on the other hand, you just can't see when you're flying them. Like, for instance, the Vipers with the gray bottoms, if you're flying on a cloudy day, it gets kind of annoying. However, this plane, not a problem at all. You can see it perfectly. It's kind of hard to lose orientation. Also, because of the lights, it's got very bright lights in it, so you're not going to lose orientation. So, for that, flight characteristics. So, therefore, flight will get, because of just simply how smooth it is. Oh, it's also not susceptible at wind at all. It takes wind like a beast. So I'm going to give it probably a 7.4. That's too low. I'm going to give it an 8.5. As you can see, my reviews are very, very, good. Skill level wise, this is a perfect second or third plane if you've had a trainer for a certain amount of time. Say you've had an Air Scout for 3 weeks and you have an instructor and you haven't crashed. You might want to do a few more flights before you level up. And this might not be the way to go if you're running it on 3S. Because I do believe it can stall on 3S. One nice thing about this plane is the V-shaped wing makes it very stable even with the gyro off. Which is something I love about airplanes. There are some that do it a little bit too aggressively, like the... what's it called? Like the Vapors, you can't do inverted, but it's also a Vapor. But on this plane, you can do okay inverted. It flies much better upright, like most planes do. There's really only one plane I own, well, two, that I own that fly great inverted, which is the Extra and the 2010. Because the 2010 came out of the box with a V shape, but because the spar is mildly cracked, the V's not really there as much. You can still very minorly see it. That plane I'll probably sell. I'll keep you guys posted. But this plane, very clean paint job out of the box. Very clean everything. For your skill rating, I'm going to give it a level 3 out of 10. Could be a third airplane. Could be a second airplane. Probably an ideal second or third. Could be your way into jets, but probably not. Mostly just, honestly, the best thing for this plane is just having it, once you're like a higher skill level, just having it as a daily flyer. The reason that I'm not calling it a second airplane is unless you have the hobby shop set up for you, you are going to have problems with that elevator if you're not as experienced. Like, I'm decently experienced. I've built me a lot of airplanes in my time. And I even had trouble setting that up. So, because of that, that's why I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10 on the skill rating. Keep in mind, this is on the 3 out of 10, same tier as the Technim and, where is it? It's not out here. And the Twin Otter. So, really docile airplane, perfect second or third plane. So, 3 out of 10 on skill. So, there's not really much left to say besides my final thoughts. My final thoughts, Beautiful scale perfection. Really, it's a great airplane, and I think it doesn't deserve all the hate it gets. Majority of the hate it gets, which is not much, but I have seen people hating on it, is just because it's E-flite. People think, oh, it's just going to be another plane with safe. It's just going to baby you, which it does, but it does it well. This would actually be an ideal plane to get out of a gyro. So, like, say it's your 4th airplane, but you're trying to get out of a gyro. You might not want to do what I did, which is where you jump into an extra 300 with crazy throws that looks like it's been shot out of an ass. That's literally what some guys at the field said. I was at the field with this goober, and the Twin Otter, and one other goober. I forgot which goober it was. But, somebody literally said, that thing looks like it's been shit out of an ass, but it flies really good. Which, honestly, I don't take as an offense. This plane's seen things. It's been through hell, and yet it still flies great. However, this is not the plane to jump into if you're trying to learn without a gyro. This is the plane I had as my true first gyroless plane. It's a glider. It's not going to bite you. But this is a great plane to learn on. And I highly recommend it. You might want to get something like a Ranger, which this thing looks like shit, or an Aeroscout. Let's see if I can find some Aeroscout mulch in here for y'all. Let's look for some Aeroscout mulch. Where's some Aeroscout mulch? I know there's some in here. There might not be Aeroscout mulch. That's mostly indoors. Is that Aeroscout mulch? No, that's the canopy to the other goob. Well, I'm not seeing Aeroscout mulch. Maybe I'll sell Aeroscout mulch as merch. Here's some Aeroscout mulch. That thing looks like it's been bit out of. You might want something like these two first before you go into this. As you can see, I've had a rough time in the hobby, but hell. Now I'm building goobers like this, which you guys probably won't see for another 2 months until I have it dialed. But yeah, guys, I'm going to finish off this video with the videos of it flying, and then at the end, I'm going to talk about what my plan for the channel is, which is actually what I'm going to talk about now. So my plan for 2026 for the channel is to reach 500 to 1,000 subscribers, in that general range. I'm going to be pumping out a lot of short-form content, but I'm also trying to pump out more long-form. This airplane will definitely be seen on the channel a lot more. I'm not selling it anytime soon. This will probably be one of the daily flyers, because I feel like this is, while the Twin Otter is my aerobatic daily that I can fly out here, this is going to be my daily in the city warm-up plane. So, like, whenever I'm out in Albuquerque flying, this is what I will fly. Which, by the way, if you live in the Albuquerque region, there's a swap meet on April 25th. You should show up. I doubt any of my viewers do that aren't, like, my personal, actual, real-life friends live in that area. But, you know, if you do, you should pull up. It's a great community, the Maloof Flying Field. It's where I fly and bash some of my trucks. They do have a racetrack. The racetrack's okay. Only issue is the sand on it. I can't get grip with the slash. I'll probably have much better luck with the Baja Ray. But anyways, so for some future videos to look forward to, STX-10, Tamiyas. I'm planning on getting more Tamiyas this year. Cross RC, Raptor R rebuild, slash build. Slash build is probably going to be out by Wednesday. Maybe some more content with this little goober, because it's really dialed. I might just want to finish modding it. Definitely a review of this guy. One thing I want to bring up really quick.
Come to decide that the things that I tried were in my life just to get high on. When I sit alone, come get a little known, but I need more than myself this time. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe that we rely on. When I lay it on, come get to play it on, all my life to sacrifice. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh, I got your hey, oh, now listen what I say. less I know, the more I like to let it go. Hey, oh, whoa, whoa. Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder, where it's so white as snow, privately divided by a world so undecided, and there's nowhere to go. In between the cover of another perfect wonder, and it's so white as snow, running through the field where all my tracks will be concealed, and there's nowhere to go. Oh! When to descend to amend for a friend all the channels that have broken down. Now you bring it up, I'm gonna ring it up just to hear you sing it out. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe what we rely on. When I lay it on, come get to play it on, all my life to sacrifice. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh, I got your hey, oh, listen what I say, oh. The more I see, the less I know,